Whatever position that you're in, on your next couple exhales, see if you can soften your shoulders a bit more. Just relaxing them down the back, away from the ears. Soften the tops of the shoulders. Send a little release down into your belly, acknowledging that we hold a lot of tension and reaction and emotion in the gut. And with a simple, easy breath, let the belly breathe as well. Send some release down into your hips, relaxing the buttock muscles, and down into the legs, out into the arms, wherever else you're feeling achiness in your body. And come more deeply into your breath as you notice the drawing in the coolness of the inhale and the warmth of the exhale. Notice any characteristic of your breath that maybe you haven't noticed yet today. What about your breath is unique? Maybe there's a constriction, some sort of sinus pressure, or maybe there's an openness, reverse of that. And is your breath shallow? Is it deep? What is the state of your natural breath, and what are the characteristics? Take a moment to name them. Notice even the pace of your breath. Is it fast when you breathe in? Is it slow down as you complete the inhale? And is it fast when you breathe out, slow down when you complete the exhale? Or is there more a smooth, steady rhythm, pace of breath? Whatever else you can name as a characteristic of your breath. It's often nice to anchor into the breath as a starting part of our meditation, as a foundation of our meditation. You just keep coming back to it, naming the qualities of it, feeling the sensation of breath. Where do you feel it in your body? In your belly? In your chest? Maybe you feel it, dryness in your throat? Maybe you feel the breath in your palms or in your feet. I would just engage a simple naming of the inhale, in on the in breath, and out on the out breath as you exhale. So in and out. And begin to notice your body. Your breath is part of your body. Notice your body, where it is in space. What position are you in? Your arms and legs, your torso. Feel the ground below you. Feel any sensation on your skin. These things associated with having a body are our senses. Do you feel air on your skin? Do you feel warmth or coolness or discomfort or itchiness? What sensation arises on the skin? And then also associated with our senses, notice any sounds going on around you. Sounds outside. Noticing them, not attaching to them, but just simply noting. Okay, there's a car. There's some sound of the house, the air, the water running. What sounds are going on inside the room? Again, just noting. And what sounds are going on inside of yourself, of your body. Allowing these sounds and these sensations to flow through, not blocking them by interpreting them or being perturbed or disturbed by them. Just okay, noting and coming back to our in and back to our out, natural breath. And then start to notice any smell. Take a deeper breath in, any sense of smell that you can capture in through the nose. Maybe lack of smells, and out through the nose. Any sense of taste, swallowing through the throat. And now going deep into the space behind our eyes. As the eyes soften, we dampen our sense of sight. We close our eyes, going into the space behind the eyes and forehead, into the head, and our brain space, our thinking mind. What's coming up in the thinking mind? Approach it with a sense of curiosity. What thoughts are there? Are they coming from the past or the future? Are they in the present or somewhere else in between? And it's not about turning our thoughts off or even clearing our mind, but just taking a step back and looking at these thoughts as they go, as they flow by. So like an analogy I like to use is watching cars on a train. They're connected, they're linked together, but they're constantly going by one car and then the next and then the next. So these are each individual thoughts connected and creating a train, a flow of thought and movement. It's about being less on that train and being more outside of that train of thought and just looking at it and seeing, noticing what we can observe and see. And then we come back to the breath. So that's a continual process. We notice what's going on in the thinking mind. And then we come back to thought. Come back to breath, rather. In and out. And a tool that I like to engage when I'm trying to focus in on the moment, sometimes it varies. Right? We get some success, and then we go back and we get caught up in the thoughts, and we think, okay, back to my breath, and we get caught up in a sound, and we get, okay, back to my breath. And so something that helps me anchor down as part of the yoga nidra process is counting. Is just simply counting the breath, which can assist in anchoring us more into this breath in this moment. So let's try an exercise in counting. And with each count, just be with that inhale, the sensation of the inhale, and be with that exhale, the sensation of the exhale. There's no need to lengthen your breath unless it feels nice. We can keep that natural rhythm of breath as we count. So take 20 counts, down from 20 to 1. In and out. 20. In. Follow the inhale. And out. Follow the exhale. 19. In and out. 18. In and out. 17. Stay with that breath. In and out. 16. In, out. 15. In, out. 14. In, out. 13. In, out. 12. In, out. 11. In, out. 10. In, out. 9. In, out. 8. In, out. 7. In, out. 6. In, out. 5. In, out. 4. In, out. 3. In, out. 2. In, out. 1. If it helps to return to the counting, to complete our meditation, opening meditation, and come back to the counting. And you can engage counting from 10 down to 1 and come back to 10. Otherwise, just stay with your in and your out. Keeping that awareness of thought, getting caught in thought, getting caught in externalities. And we'll take about 1 more minute to complete our opening meditation. Engage the counting if you like. Stay with your natural breath. Just be here with the breath as much as you can. Let go of whatever counting you're focused on, whatever number you're on, or wherever you are in the process. And just come back to that deep breath again. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale, slow breath in. See if it's a bit easier to take this deeper breath. And then just releasing the warm air, any stale energy still lingering. Let it out. And again, like that, inhale in through the nose. And sigh it out. One more like that. Inhale. And big exhale. Start to flutter your eyes open. And whether you're lying down or sitting upright, just make a peace with that opening meditation, however it went for you. It's already in the past. So don't sweat it if it was a challenge to get there. We just put forth the effort. Let's all come onto our mat, and we'll start off with a gentle movement practice, bringing awareness into each movement. So just coming down, feeling the mat below us if you're not already laying down, and reaching our arms up overhead, pointing our toes, and just make a nice yawn through the body. So how you stretch out the throat, think of doing that throughout the whole body when you yawn, and then exhale, release your arms and legs, and then do that again. Inhale, reach the arms, reach the legs, and exhale, release. And then this time, walk your feet together, reach your arms, and begin to walk the feet together over to the right and lean the arms and the head and the neck a little bit over to the right. So it doesn't have to be a super intensive lean. We'll just be here for about 3 breaths. So you should feel the left side body elongating and the right side body a little crunched. We're stretching through that left side body. So breathe into it. You can even cross this left leg over if you want a bit more. And acknowledging your own body and what you need to modify today, just feeling this stretch and honoring where you need to modify and change. If you're feeling pain at all, certainly skip. All right, and then we'll come back to center and go to the other side. You can even close the eyes as you lean over to the left, create a bit of a banana shape over here. You can cross the right leg over the left, take a big breath in through the nose and out through the nose and mouth. In through the nose and exhale. And then inhale, come back to center and bend in through both knees and begin to hug the knees gently into the chest. So if you want to squeeze them in, you can, but we don't have to squeeze them in so much in order to get this stretch, this reverse stretch in our hip flexors. We feel it in our glutes and our hamstrings, backs of the legs a little bit. And just start a bit of sway, rocking side to side here, feeling that massage across the lower back. And take the hands onto the tops of the knees and start to slowly circle over to the right, away from the body so the arms are extended fully, over to the left so you feel the left hip weight on the left hip, and then back to center. And do that over to the right, away from the body, you feel the lower back getting a little more arc, over to the left, and center, and you feel the lower back pushing into the mat. So bringing in awareness into your body as you do this circle around. Let's go in that same direction 2 more times. How are the hips moving? How is the lower back feeling? And all of that. Just bringing in awareness, a meditative quality to our movement. Okay, and then switch sides. If you haven't already, go a little slow the first round so you feel the lower back pushing into the mat and then arcing, and then the weight shifting from side to side. So we want to bring this a really acute awareness into what our body is doing with each movement and each pose. That's where we bring the mindfulness in. And it's meditative yoga, but really all yoga should be kind of meditative, right? We want to bring an awareness into what's happening when we're doing it. Otherwise, it's just sort of, exercise, movement. Let's extend the right leg out. Keep the left leg in and just squeeze it in for a moment. And then we're going to bend into the right knee and extend the left leg up and flex into the foot and point the toes and roll around the ankle. And of course our leg can be bent. So if you're feeling really stiff in the leg, might be useful to bend into the knee. And just, we can bend and straighten it a few times. Feel what that feels like in the back of the leg. And then point through the toes and start to draw a medium-sized circle on the ceiling. So this is kind of incorporating a little Pilates move here. I've been teaching a lot of Pilates lately, which is actually really good for just bringing health into our joints and some fluidity into our joints. And start to reverse it. Go about 3 times one direction. Slow, controlled circles here, pointing the toes. Of course, the knee can be bent. You can make littler circles. And then come back to center, flex into the foot, and point the toes and roll it around one way and roll it around the other way. Take the right leg, extend it out in front, and hug the left knee in again. And then take that left knee, open it up out to the side. So we're really moving through full range of motion in the hip. Bring the left knee out. You can bring the right arm across and gaze over the right arm. Take a big breath here. And then draw the left knee in and slowly start to cross it across the body. You can bring the left foot on top of the thigh and gaze out over the left side. Nice and easy here. Go to where it feels like a nice stretch, but also no pain. Right? And then just squeeze it back in and notice how that foot feels. So I'm feeling a little bit of lightness in the foot, and it's because the blood flow has started to reverse. And there's definitely some more openness feeling in the hip and the leg. And just let that left leg come down and switch sides. Hug the right knee in. And just take a breath here. Just feeling that squeeze in. And then left knee bends and we extend the right leg up. And you can flex the foot, point the toes. Just notice the ankle moving, the foot moving, roll it around. Explore different movements here. We can bend in and straighten, waking that leg up. Maybe it hasn't woken up all day. I know I've been on my feet most of the day, and I haven't moved my legs, reversed, flopped it upside down in a while. So it feels kind of like the blood is starting to waken up through the leg. And then point through the toes and start to take that circle, going about 3 times, maybe 4 in one direction, slow circle movement. And then just keep the movement controlled from the hip. It's really our hip is where the movement originates from. And then switch directions, just easy breathing here. Taking about 3-4 times this way. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of random achiness and stiffness in my hips. So it's nice to move them. And then we'll hug that knee back in. I'll stretch the left leg and bring the right knee out to the side for a few breaths. Left arm out to the side. You can gaze out over the left side. Take a big breath here. And then start to bring the foot onto the top of the thigh and reverse the movement. Gaze out over the right shoulder and take a big breath here. Inhale and exhale. So really just waking up our hips here to start off with, which is good. All right, and then squeeze that knee back into the midline. You can let it wiggle out again. And just feel the difference. Right and left side should be feeling pretty even at this point. So reaching the arms up overhead again. Just get that full body stretch again and notice any difference. We just did this, so maybe there's a difference in feeling sensation, a little bit more stretched out. And then slowly bend into the knees and roll off to one side. And then just letting your head rest off to the side for a moment. Take a breath. And then start to push yourself all the way up. And so we'll come into a seated position. And if you're seated for meditation, just notice if your hips are feeling any different. Like the hips might feel a little bit more open and more supple now that they've moved a bit. And so just notice that. Maybe they don't no change at all. That's also something to notice. And just come here into a seated position and begin to roll your shoulder blades down the back. Just a nice well-rounded practice tonight, working through full body stretching, which we can all use. Rolling them down and back and lifting them forward and up, beginning to waking up the shoulders as well. And then begin to reach your arms long and just hang out here for a moment. Reach your fingertips long, draw your shoulders back a little bit, spread through your hands, spread through your palms. Close your eyes here and notice any tension in the shoulders, soften the shoulders, but start to feel the fingertips reaching and the nerves in the fingertips stretching through the joints, the wrists, the elbows, shoulders, giving them a soft quality if you need to. And then begin to take your arms back a little bit. Open up the chest here. We don't want to pop up the front ribs totally. We just want to see if we can elongate across the collarbones a bit more and draw our shoulder blades down the back. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, begin to bring your arms out in front, creating a big circle like we're hugging in. Draw the belly in and round up through the spine. So it looks like this in your spine. And then as you inhale, open it up, bring the arms back, and the heart comes forward a bit, stretching across the front of the chest. And as you exhale, stretching across the shoulder blades, really, I'm drawing the tailbone in a little bit. And so inhale, open it up again. Like embracing for a big hug, a really big hug. And then exhale, draw it in. This is a way to do this forward and back motion gently across the spine without having any pressure on the wrists. And you start to notice, my shoulders are working, my arms are stretching, and then there might be some muscles that are just waking up or that have been stiff. So do that one more time. And then just bring your arms out wide again. Inhale here. And as you exhale, gently twist over to the left. So first, I want you to create, it's even barely a twist. It's more of like a shoulder stretch. We're going to try to just resist the shoulder as we feel a stretch here and really link your hand onto the outer thigh. This hand can be hanging out here. Sit up tall and just resist this here so you feel this stretch in the outer shoulder blade. Yeah, your chest is mostly forward. Not a super twist yet. And then sit up tall and then begin to twist through your rib cage. So draw the left ribs back, draw the right ribs over, turn the torso a little bit over to the side, and the shoulder girdle, so this shoulder, chest area, all together, twists but doesn't jerk over to the side. And keep the neck in neutral for a moment. And then as you build that twist, maybe you gaze out over that right shoulder. Maybe you gaze out over that left shoulder and it feels nice in the neck here. But if that doesn't feel nice in your neck, then skip. Yeah, no reason to move the neck at all, unless it feels like a nice twist. All right, and then slowly come back to center. Relax your shoulders. Start to go to the, maybe you take a moment in between sides and just feel the difference, the breath. And then start to go to the other side. So holding on to the outer leg, wherever you can find it, we're resisting this here and trying to keep the chest pointed forward. And you should really feel a big stretch here. You might feel it down the side of the waist. Find some release as you stretch, as you come into this pose. And then recommit to sitting up taller. So lift the chest, lengthen through the top of the head, and then begin your twist a bit more. So draw the right ribs back, the left ribs over, and the shoulder girdle is whole area up here, the upper chest and shoulders. It just gently comes along into that twist. You really feel your core wringing out and your rib cage twisting. And really, the sides of the ribs, the obliques are twisting as well, sides of the waist. Take another breath here. Inhale, sit up tall. Yeah, the neck goes wherever it likes to go. Twist a little deeper. And then slowly come back to center. Release your shoulder blades down the back. Notice how you feel in your shoulders, a little shake out. And then while we're here and seated, we'll take a moment to come and find stillness, just a moment. Open the palms, spread through the hands, close your eyes, and on an inhale, bring your arms up overhead, reaching up, bring all 10 fingers together, so thumbs join, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. All palms come together. Take another inhale and reach your arms long, draw your arms close up to your ears. And as you exhale, draw your hands to your heart center. And you can even feel that energy coming through your hands now of the lifted, the reversal of the blood flow and all that. So drawing it into heart center, we can either point the thumbs into the heart or bring the hands over the heart, better yet. And take stock of how we're feeling. What is the feeling body doing, and how is it? So just check in. And a mantra that I used in one of my other classes, an intention that I like to offer for your practice, the remainder of your practice, and maybe for your week, is something I heard recently. Is just, sometimes when people say is let it go, it can trigger like a wanting to hold on to something that we're not ready to let go of, or whatever's bothering us. Whatever it may be, letting it go may not be an option. And so just like the Beatles song, Let It Be, could be an alternative of just, instead of like really being bothered, not letting it go, but just letting it settle, letting it be. And then giving it time and space, right? So just letting it be, creating a bit of space. Whatever it is that's weighing heavy on your heart. And then if that, if that really doesn't resonate with you, then just set an intention of something else that does resonate with you. Take a big deep breath, inhale and exhale. Nice. Inhale and bring your arms back up overhead. And then point your palms down and exhale, bring your arms down. Relax your shoulders. All right, so we'll make our way up into standing. Just for a few movements. Let's bring the legs out wide. So our toes point forward, our heels are drawing back here. And then we're going to take the hands and interlace them back behind. So just kind of bringing our legs, our hips, and our shoulders, everything now into a pose. Toes and heels in alignment. We interlace our hands, draw our shoulder blades close together, and start this wave. So the wave is lifting up, inhaling, exhaling, going forward a little bit. You may notice, oh, right, that's about as far as I can go. You might need to bend your knees. As you inhale, come back up. Exhale, go forward. And bend your knees if you need to come up. Exhale, going forward, maybe a little bit further, maybe releasing the head. Inhale, coming up. Kind of making it a bit more fluid through our joints. Not locking the knees or the hips or the elbows for that matter, but just finding some movement here that feels nice. Open to the chest. And then next time you come forward, start to settle into the pose. So releasing the head as much as you can, keeping the knees soft, let the arms come up. And just take a big breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, release your arms and walk your feet in a little bit and bend your knees and straighten your legs and do that again. Just to kind of release out the knees. Nice and easy. Okay, let's take the right foot, lift up the toes, point the toes forward, and our left toes are turned slightly inward. So we can line up front heel to back inner arch here, and then turn the torso forward. So our legs are kind of pointed in one direction, and our torso is pointed in the other. Bring the arms out wide, and then begin to reach forward. Try not to lock this knee joint. Give it a little micro bend, and come back to center, and then reach back. Feel the side stretching more than the hip moving. So we don't want to try to pop the hip out. We want the sides of the waist to do a little bit more than the hip is. Yeah. And back, and then maybe we'll go forward a little bit further, Not until we've got hardly any more space to go forward, then we'll bring this hand down and start to bring this arm up. So we can rest the bottom hand just very gently, not pushing into it, but lifting up and out of the top hand. Open up the chest, open up the ribs, open up the hip. Who cares how far down we can go? We want to find openness here and then draw this bottom hip down. So our hips are sort of kind of, in alignment here instead of this bottom hip jutting out. We can gaze up here if it feels okay on the neck. And then this is triangle pose, Trikonasana. Inhale, come all the way up. And this time let's bend into our front knee, which feels nice at this point after the leg was straight. So we're going to lengthen across the inner thigh and just take a breath here as we sink in. Reach the arms. Point the palms up and straighten up through that front leg. Bring your hands together. As you exhale, lean back. Nice to stretch that side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bend into that front knee, sink in. And we'll bring the front forearm onto the front thigh, bring the back arm up, and just reach the back arm over. Again, not dipping into this front arm, but lifting up and out of the upper chest from that top arm, leading the way. All right, take a breath here. You can gaze up towards the hand. And then come back up, straighten up that leg. Turn the toes back in, lift the toes, pivot from the heel, walk the feet in for a moment, just bend in and straighten. And feel the difference between sides. Something else I like to do to get the hips out of their stiffness is just to take a few hip circles, which is kind of nice in between sides. To do that, we'll movement around. And then we'll go to the other side. So walking the feet out a little bit long, lift up the left toes, turn the toes here, reach the arms long, and start that movement back and forth. So reaching forward and back, feeling this side stretch, and back to center and forward, and back to center, and reach it back. And center. Now let's go for that full-on Trikonasana. Reach, reach, reach. And then this hand can fall where it may on the shin. This top arm lifts, opening up the ribs. The shoulder blades stack down the back as best they can. And this hip opens as if this hip hugs under a little bit. Lengthening both sides of the waist. Even try not to shorten this side so much. A lot going on in this pose. So again, don't worry about the mechanics so much. Come back to your breath. And then inhale, come back up. Feels nice to bend into that front knee over ankle and stretching, elongating through the inner thigh. Reaching the arms again, shoulders over, hips here, torso pointed out to the side. And then inhale, straighten up, bring the hands together. As you exhale, lean back. Feeling that side body stretch. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bend in. Front forearm under front thigh, back arm up and over. Lifting up and up, drawing this arm aligned with the ear. We might gaze up if it feels okay. Otherwise, just neutral. Big breath here, lifting up and out, not using that front thigh as a crutch. And then inhaling back to center. Exhale, straighten up. Nice. So nice movement here in standing. Just come into a mountain pose. Ooh, feel the difference there. Always good to notice the effects of the practice. Close your eyes, come back to your breath. Inhale in through the nose. And that deep exhale out through the mouth. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Tap your fingertips together. And then soften your knees as you exhale. Go all the way forward. So we might need to bend the knees a lot in order to grab onto the backs of the legs. Maybe we're holding here, or lower down onto the leg. And trying to keep the belly onto the thighs. Try to keep the spine long. And just, it's almost like you're looking over the edge of a cliff. But the cliff is right here. It's not somewhere over there. So we're just looking over the edge, not having to crank the neck, right, to see the edge. All right, so keep your hands onto the backs of your legs, wherever. Maybe it's even up here. And then just start to straighten your legs a bit more. It's a little incrementally straightening them as much as you can, within reason. Lifting the kneecaps, activating the thighs. Take a breath here. And then start to release your arms forward, let your head hang forward, and we come into that forward fold Uttanasana. And so who cares if we touch the ground? It doesn't matter, we can keep our hands here, but just let your head hang forward and feel the stretch even across the back of your neck. Take a big breath here in through the nose, out through the mouth. Should feel your hamstrings stretching a lot too. So as we lift the kneecaps and activate the tops of the thighs, ooh, big stretch here. You feeling your sitting bones stretch, your glutes, and the lower back shouldn't be feeling so painful or overstretched. If it is, then bend the knees. Okay, from here, let's take the hands up the shins and get a nice halfway lift. So again, just looking over the edge of that cliff, it's right there. Draw your shoulders back, so lift the shoulder heads back. Draw your tailbone back. Activate your legs, lift the kneecaps. Take one more breath here, inhale. And then as you exhale, go forward again. And then bend the knees, and we'll come all the way down onto hands and knees just for a moment. Revisit this cat-cow spine in this hands and feet, on our hands and feet, hands and knees position. Drop the belly, reach the heart. If the wrists are paining at all, then do it from here. You know, we still get that movement. It's just a little less range of motion. Inhaling and then exhaling, rounding up and in. And do two more there. And if it feels nice to sort of move the hips a little bit, you can kind of explore this movement. It doesn't have to be super, you know, militantly cat-cow, Vidalasana. And then our last one today, before we come back onto the back, is going to be a nice upper body stretch. So we keep the hips over the knees and walk the hands forward. Start to meld the heart to the ground. Your hips are high and your heart is melting. Let your forehead come down. If this is too much on your shoulders and feeling pain anywhere else, we can take it from the forearms, a little less. But start to draw the belly closer to the thighs and meld the heart closer to the ground. Take 5 deep breaths here. Last 2 breaths together here. Nice deep inhale. Exhale it out the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Okay. We stay in this position. Maybe we bend the elbows a little bit and take the left hand, walk it gently over, across, underneath the right arm, threading the needle, and then just gently turn the head over to the side. So I have this right arm, you can walk it out to the side, you can Straighten it a little bit more. Be kind to your neck here. So we don't want any crunch in the neck. We really have to turn the head a bit and gently ease our way into this position. Yeah, so 2-3 breaths here. If you remember when we were in seated and we stretched through the outer shoulder, there should be some feeling reminiscent of that when we did our seated twist. A lot of these poses have linkages, have working similar muscle groups. And then coming back to center, just bringing that arm through, and then take a few breaths over to the other side. So you may need to recalibrate, coming all the way upright to set up on this side. And just take about 3 breaths there. Modify as much as you need to. All right, and slowly come back upright. Find your way onto your bum. Extend your legs out in front and just find this very neutral position, Dandasana, or our staff pose. So feet are flexed. Draw your toes back to your head. Sit up really tall. Lengthen up your spine. Crown of your head reaching to the top, to the ceiling. Draw your shoulders back. And try to bring the legs and the arm and the torso into a right angle as much as you can. Spread your toes. How often do we actively spread our toes? And if you're not used to it, then it might feel really weird and uncomfortable and wonky. So notice if that's the case. But just really activate your feet. Find some space. Looks kind of silly, but it's really good to stretch our toes. And sit up tall. Take one more breath here. Really active spine, active legs, active feet. And then bend your knees, plant your feet, and grab onto the backs of your thighs as you make space for yourself to come all the way down. Take it slowly. So, we're kind of engaging our core here, drawing the belly in, rounding out through the spine this time as we come down. Sometimes we come down flat back. Try to keep your feet on the ground and gently release your head down. Okay, let your shoulders melt into the mat. You can move our knees a bit side to side. And just take a nice releasing breath here. Inhale, exhale out through the mouth. Now we're getting ready for our closing meditation. So as you move your knees, you decide, yeah, I'd like to revisit something that we did earlier. Maybe one of these with the knees out to the side, hip opening stretch, or outer hip stretch with the leg crossed over, or something else entirely. Maybe you want to bring both legs in the air for a moment. Just kind of do what feels good to you. Maybe we revisit the first pose. Whatever feels good to you. So what I like to call yogi's choice, your choice, to complete this physical movement practice today. And, maybe there's nothing that you really feel the need to do, in which case you can always come straight into Shavasana. Just let your arms and legs fall open. You can use a prop, a blanket over the hips or over the whole body, an eye pillow over the eyes, a bolster underneath the knees, or just nothing, and that feels okay too. So, make your way here into Shavasana, and we'll end with a few minutes of closing meditation. So I'll give you a little moment to set up there. Staying hydrated, always good. All right, so I'll set up with you in Shavasana. Once you get here, just wiggle out your arms and legs. Take a big deep breath again. Slow deep breath in through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. 2 more big breaths like that. Let your whole body sigh. Again, Letting it be instead of letting it go, letting it be the whole body. Gradually come back into your natural breath and take stock and notice of how you feel in your body. So is there still some lingering warmth? Is there some openness in your joints? Is there any pain? Is there any achiness? Notice that. Come back to your in and your out. Get even more comfortable. So as you settle in, make these tiny little adjustments to find our comfort level. Gradually increasing our comfort and melting our shoulders in, letting our hips be heavy, our bones, our femur bones, tops of the thighs, our shoulders, our arm bones, our skull even, the back of the head is heavy in the earth. Imagine your bones just really heavy. Imagine your skeletal system lying down and releasing, letting it be simply in its restful state. And as you settle in, begin to notice any thoughts that are coming. Sometimes being still is harder than movement. When we find stillness, we often find the mind becomes more active. Notice if that's happening. Being aware of the patterns of your thoughts, the train of thought. Keep coming back to that breath. Soften your belly and let it breathe. Relax your jaw, your tongue, your throat, your chest. And we'll end in silence today. Just a little bit of silence, a minute or two. Feel free to come back to that counting, engage that tool if that's useful to you. You can count down 20 to 1 or back to 10 to 1 and back to 10 when you get down to 1. And do your best to just be in your breath, finding that balance between effort and ease as you delve deeper into Shavasana. Just a moment of silence. Incorporate the counting if that's useful to you. Enjoy Shavasana. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Feel your lungs filling up, your chest rising as you take a slow inhale. And take that sigh out the mouth if it feels nice. Exhale deep. Nice, slow, deep inhale. And slow, deep exhale. One more big breath. Inhale. And exhale. Gradually begin to add some movement into your fingers and your toes. Wiggling out your hands and your feet. Bringing awareness to your wrists and your ankles, your elbows and your knees, your shoulders and your hips, your torso, your neck, your head. Whatever feels good to start to waken up the body. Hopefully we have a bit more awareness of our body and our movements. Just brought more mindfulness into it at this point. And bend into your knees, roll off to one side. Again, take a moment to pause here. Just feel this sense of wellness and the sense of calm that comes with this position's connection with fetal position. We all started off here in the womb. So I'm returning back to that home position. And then gently push yourself up off the earth, come back into your seated position. We'll end in seated today. Relaxing the shoulders down the back, open the palms. Spread through the hands and just with this opening, accepting whatever benefit you gained from the practice and making a conscious decision to let it be whatever came up that's not serving you, whatever potentially negative thought, idea, opinion, or feeling that arose. Just letting that be, taking what positive that you gained from it. And then inhale, bring your arms up overhead, reaching the fingertips together, the palms. And exhale, hands through to heart center. Sitting up tall, drawing our awareness back to the heart space, back to this center, this intention, and this energy that we put forth, the light that comes from our heart center. So with gratitude for you bringing your time, your energy, your light into this practice. Maybe you take this mantra, this intention of letting it be, as part of your week, if that's useful, whatever else resonated with you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and week with gratitude. Namaste.